because I want to stream.
Oh my gosh.
Your event is starting, and we're live.
Live?
Yeah, we're live. It's happening. There's a little bit going to be of a delay with like your voices and audio and stuff because we're streaming versus recording.
Yeah.
Oh,
there it goes.
we are working. Yeah, see? No.
Whoa, too large on YouTube.
It's like, that's a big face. Look at my face. Look at my face is huge. Like, don't even worry about it.
Just talk from back here.
Like the pixels, there's not as many pixels as there should be, so everyone's pores look invisible, which is pretty exciting. And I think that's the best part of low quality cameras. So anyone who is watching this super awkward beginning from the future, and she's gone.
Oh my gosh, what is happening? Okay, sorry.
He's like, wait, I'm not ready. That's okay. Am I the only one here? Sharon, so far, I think you're the only person in the chat. There are 7 people watching right now. Every time I try to do a live event on YouTube, it always ends up being kind of like awkward because there's no like, I'm not like professional. I don't have like an audio clip that's going to play or anything like that, but it's just kind of like a nice conversation. Welcome, Daniela and Sharon. How are you? So anyways, we're here with Samantha Lopez and Kat Hubbs, the 2 past guests that we had from Women of Illustration. Lots of cool stuff has happened. We have a couple questions that we got via the internet, and we're going to be focusing on what the entire 3-part series was about, which was all about independence. How can we be just badass women that can pay their fucking bills, and we don't have to rely on a man or a day job or lots of freelance clients just hitting us up so that way we can still pay rent at the end of the month, right? So, Samantha.
Yes.
How did your challenge go? Because you had a challenge, and what was that again? Remind us.
I was supposed to find a mentee and do a collaboration. So I didn't do the collaboration part yet, but I had a lot of people contact me to be a mentee, which I was like very surprised. It was really awesome. There was just like a lot of people, so then I got really frustrated because I want to help like everyone. So I kind of I sent out like a mass. First I had to like figure out what I was gonna do that was like beneficial for me, beneficial for like the people that wanted help. So I just sent out a mass email to basically everyone who has contacted me, and I'm just like basically letting them know like, well, obviously like I'm working, I'm like kind of busy, and I want to be available for everyone, but yeah, just letting them know that they can ask me like any questions, because I feel like that's what people want to like hear, is that like they can ask questions and like not feel like dumb like if they have something to say or something to ask, because I feel like that's kind of something that kind of set me back when I was doing freelance, was just like not knowing and not really having anyone to ask. So I just wanted to let them know that like, hey, I'm here for you. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
That's pretty normal. I think some people don't realize how popular they are, even if you only have a couple hundred followers too. When you ask people like, hey, I want to help you, who's down? Don't be surprised when like a fucking butt ton of people reach out to you. It was the same situation when I like recently asked for volunteers for Women of Illustration. Over 60 people replied, but it's like, I was going to be able, the only thing I could offer was my time in exchange for their time. So it's like, there's no way I could afford to coach 60 people for free and still pay all my bills. So it's like, I totally understand that dilemma, but I think there's a nice opportunity there. We're like, okay, well, I know that I have a following that's interested in learning more about what I have to say. What if I did a couple live streams on Instagram or something like that? So that way you can start to talk to them in a more group format. Or, take the 10 people that maybe their aesthetic is similar to yours, or people that you think are the closest, or maybe need the most help, or people who were just the most personal when they reached out to you. And then just pick them and then just go one by one until you, you figure out the process of what that whole mentee-mentor relationship looks like.
Yeah, totally. And it was great because a lot of people that contacted me like were from LA. So I don't know, it was just pretty cool. So hopefully I get to meet these people like in real life and we get to like become friends. So yeah, it was great.
Cool.
For sure.
So who do you think like within like the next month would be a good time frame for you to like officially pick a mentee to like collaborate on a project with?
Yeah, I think within a month I'll have someone to like collaborate with for sure.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's pretty awesome.
Cool. And what's up, Deidre and Daniela and Rayanne and Ash? Hi from Seattle. Hey, Ash. I'm in Portland. And where are you guys located? Where are you? You're in LA.
I'm in LA.
Yeah.
I'm north in Oxnard, Ventura.
Oxnard is such a fun thing to say. Oxnard. I feel like a stoner circle would just be obsessed with that word, Oxnard, over and over again.
It's true.
I'm just saying it's a cool word and I like it. I'm gonna draw it. Okay. What about you, Kat? Did we give you a challenge during your brief episode?
Yeah. I'm still, it was around the course that I had started that is about like 70% there. And I think it's really hard to pick up an old project. So that's where I've been struggling, but I've taken a few other courses and really reflected on what I like about them, what I like about the group that I'm in with you and these live streams, or the way that you edit your video, the way that other classes edit their video. So I'm really trying to take that in and then consider the kind of like supplemental or like free stuff that you want to share outside of the class to like kind of prove, like show people why they should take it, right? Mm-hmm. So like, here's things that I've done and shared that are teaching oriented, like here are tips and tricks kind of things, and then share those for free, and also kind of post products that relate to the class and have those up for a little bit. So I'm going to post one of the products this weekend, like the one that I've done for the class already. Nice. To like Creative Market and Etsy, and then recut some of the like videos I already have with some of the suggestions like that you and the group have told me about, like B-roll kind of stuff to just kind of make it more engaging from just like talking head to screen, and then like figure out when how quickly I can get those done, how much more equipment I need, kind of thing. But yeah, I feel good, and I'm really trying to get a base started this month with like the products and the sharing of free stuff and like the cuts of the stuff I already have, mm-hmm. and then try to finish it up and then following month. It's just so I really like you were talking at the beginning, so I do have a day job still to pay the bills.
Yeah. I was like, no, you don't. You're full-time freelance because I say so.
I know. I'm excited. So it is tricky to find that time and to like choose between all the things you want to do. So that's something I continually struggle with, and I always feel like you always know the answer, like and what you should do, but it always helps to hear other people tell you and to like reinforce that. And so that's still learning those things.
For sure.
So.
I feel like I always have like the whole angel and the devil shoulder thing happening, where like I know what I should do, but there's always that fucking Netflix and chill little piece of shit devil that's just like, you should smoke a bowl instead. Yeah, you should go for that extra glass of wine, hang out with your friends. When was the last time you saw your friends and just had fun? You just talked about bullshit. You don't need to constantly just make things and be a making machine and women of illustration, all this stuff. It's just like, no, but people need your help, Dina. Like everyone's really appreciating it, but what about you? And it's fucking, I hate it. So I feel you on that one. I think it totally, that's why it's like so important that we have that community that we create for ourselves, whether it's a mentor-mentee relationship or it's a mastermind group like what I have for Lettering Adventures and the mastermind group for Women of Illustration, or it's just some sisters from another Mista that you met at a networking event and you just kept on keeping on hanging out, right? Yep. Who said that you can't be inspired while also drinking alcohol? Maybe blend the things together. Right? Do drinking draws. Okay, so at this point, we're going to be taking any questions that anybody in the audience currently has, whether it's how to build a better community, how to sell yourself online, how to talk about yourself, all the things that we've covered and more with these two guests. While we wait for some of those questions to come in, we have one official question.
Oh, what?
One official question. This is from Elizabeth. She says, hey guys, I found my niche, style/aesthetic, and I'm not saying you sound like this, Elizabeth, I have to do a voice. In the medium I'm enjoying working in, I'm just struggling with like the tone of voice to tell a story through the illustrations. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Also, will this video be available after the live stream? Yes, it will. So, any advice on how to find your tone of voice and telling a consistent story with your work? What do you guys think?
I feel like if you're drawing stuff, especially in the beginning, drawing stuff that you enjoy, I think people like pick up on that, and that's basically your story. You know, everything that you enjoy and you like is like reflective of like yourself, and if you're putting it out there, people are getting or picking up on that vibe. You know, I feel like recently I've been like really inspired by like just like music in general, so I've just been like making art that of music I've been listening to, and I feel like it's reflective of like what I enjoy right now, and it's been really helpful. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. What about you? What about you, Kat?
Yeah, I agree. I think I found that leaning into like media that I really like and just exploring why I like it and just like building a project around that really helped to kind of find that style voice, which typically will translate and other people will pick it up and notice it as your voice or style. I don't know if she was actually, she was just talking about that, right? Like style, not necessarily
I think it's
a literal copy.
I mean, I think she's got her style aesthetic down. I think it's just more about like telling a consistent story through her work. And I think style is one thing. Maybe it has to do more with subject matter.
Yeah, I definitely lean into what I like to draw so that the subject matter is consistent. There's always like florals and things and what I do, or little doodles that I like to do. I think you do it too, Dina, where you like sometimes fill the gaps with like almost like unconscious motions that you like to just fill in the gaps of your drawings. And I think that also helps have that consistent tone and voice, or flowers and the way you talk about how you create your work.
Yeah,
sometimes
totally
helps with the captions. Yeah.
I think a lot of people struggle with like, what should I draw? How do I tell, like, what's my story? What's my style? And I think it's like the same advice your parents say on the first day of school is just be yourself. And we all think it's bullshit, right? But it's not. It's just like trying to figure out what part of your personality you want to talk about that day. Because like a consistent story doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, I'm only going to draw a cartoon of me and my boyfriend's life together. Or I'm only going to draw animals or flowers or letters or whatever. I think it's just more of like, hey, I'm interested in this. I'm going to draw about it. So anytime you consider to make something that's about you and your experience, it's always going to tell a consistent story because your body, your mind isn't changing, right? Like I'm not going to morph into another person tomorrow. It's going to be an evolution. So it's like, even if you fucking do something crazy different from what you usually do, as long as it's still from your point of view, it's still going to be the same, right? So since everyone's being quiet, that's okay. I was totally expecting that. What do you guys think you got out of this being on the show the most? And I'll start with Kat, since you only got like a little blimp on the radar.
I know.
And I'm gonna give you. I'm giving you all the love. I was so glad that you were even able to make it, girl.
Yeah, tough day, but I think that what I really found was the best part was just reaching out to Dina and asking to be a part of it and taking that leap. Like, I am a newbie. I don't do it full-time freelance. I haven't had that like amazing illustration job, a freelance gig, but I'm still like exploring my style and trying to be part of the community. And I think taking that leap, and you know, I was like, I'm filling out the form. I'm not filling out the form. Like, F it, do it, see where it goes, just do it. And I think that's how I trying to tackle these other projects coming up too. Like someone, when you started posting about this live stream and stuff, or when the episode came out, someone's like, oh, you should try Printful or all these other sites. And I'm always like digging into their quality and looking at reviews. And I think that stops me. And I think I've just got to be like, F it, go. Just post something, do it, test it out, listen to people's feedback, and then change as it goes. And taking the leap, I think, has been the most valuable thing that I learned.
I'm so happy to hear that. I feel like a lot of people struggle with just the reaching out part. They're just really like, I don't know what they're so scared of. Like, you really think someone's just gonna go like Tourette's on your ass and just fucking be like, piece of shit motherfucker, how dare you contact me? Like, that's not gonna fucking happen, right? If anything, they're just not gonna respond to you, and that's not even that bad. That's what I literally think that people think. What about you, Sam? What was the biggest takeaway from being a part of the show?
I agree with Kat. I feel like the same situation happened with me, where I was like super nervous. I'm like, she's not gonna like ask me to be on the show or like even like take the time to talk to me. And I think that's, I mean, like, I really appreciate you taking the time to do all of this, because it's seriously amazing. I think what was most like important like for me was like just seeing the amount of people that like really appreciate my work. And yeah, like even just with my friends and family, my dad was like so stoked to share it. He shared it like on LinkedIn. I was like, thanks, Dad. I don't know. So he was just like super proud. Like my family was stoked, all my friends were stoked, and that just like made me feel really good. And then to have other illustrators that are just starting or are working design jobs like contacting me to just like ask me questions, I just feel like that sense of community is just like so much stronger and like on Instagram, on Dribble. And yeah, it just made me appreciate the platform so much more. So
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I love Women of Illustration. Not everyone knows this. I think only the people that are in our mastermind groups. But we officially applied for a grant from WeWork for $75,000.
Oh my gosh.
I do not know if we will get it. I made a video, and I will totally share the link with you guys if you are interested. I'll put it in the chat. And I had to like do this application process and like what benchmarks we would hit with the money and how we could kind of help improve the community, because WeWork has this creator awards that they do every year. Sometimes for like businesses, it's more of like a funding kind of Shark Tank type of situation. But for the nonprofit and the community-based initiatives, it's just like, hey, we want to help you. Here you go. And also we're going to improve. And also, you know, we'll get the tax cut. But also here's money. But so that might be something that might be cool. Awesome. Yeah. The goal is get better camera equipment, actually pay some of the volunteers that we have. Nice. For Women of Illustration, so that way I could actually pay the women that are helping me instead of just giving them coaching, which I'm sure they appreciate, but still. And then most importantly, we wanted to see if we could take Women of Illustration on the road, where we could actually travel, like do a West Coast tour and try to visit 20 different WeWork locations, so that way we can interview women and it, you know, quality control, and everyone has the same camera. And then also WeWork is like the most beautifully decorated fucking office space that you've ever seen in your fucking life. It's so nice. Sometimes I go there just to be like, I don't even want to work. I just want to look at all the windows and all the shiny knickknacks everywhere. It's fucking a Pinterest mom's dream, I feel like.
That's the perfect way to describe it.
Right? Honestly. Just so shiny and new and perfectly color coordinated. I'm like, fuck, why can't I do this in my office? Like, I feel like my aesthetic is just like, put art everywhere. That's the style. that's as far as my interior decorating goes. Yeah. So we'll see if that ends up working out, but that would be pretty fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Samantha, since we had all the ways, you know, diversified revenue streams, have you given any more thought to putting out more products into the world, trying out maybe third-party platforms like Redbubble and Society6 a little bit more? You're like, fuck no, Dina, I'm busy. I don't have time to make money. I'm just gonna fucking...
Such a lame excuse, too. No, I've actually just been, like, pushing myself to just create more, like, vector artwork, like, every day. Like, whenever I have time, I'm like, okay, I need to make something small, whether it's, like, an icon or something, just so I have vector artwork I can, like, pull from and then either upload it on Society6 or, like, make a shirt design, like, real quick for, like, Redbubble. But I just need to like, I'm just trying to keep myself busy so I have this content I could pull from and like make a piece really quick and just start posting more, because I feel like I've just been like dragging out. I start a project and I don't finish it, so I'm just like, I don't know. I keep getting stuck and I don't know what it is. So
yeah, that follow through is key to the whole money part. Yeah. It's totally tough. I feel like the only reason I get anything done is because of deadlines, and I already took people's money, so I have to give them the thing that I promised them. Like sometimes that, you know, news lettering adventure zine gets done 4 hours before it's due, you know? And that happens. But you know, so I sometimes do think like, you know, telling people on social media or doing something like a patron where you have to deliver something every week or every month or something like that is really the best way to get you to actually fucking do it and make it more of a priority. Mm-hmm. But I mean, also don't just think about like Society6 and Redbubble. Like I bet you, because you have a similar design aesthetic, especially like how you do your characters, I can totally see you do like a stock sheet with a bunch of elements, almost like a tattoo sheet type of thing, and then putting it on like iStock or Creative Market, just so someone can actually use those other assets for their marketing materials.
And I found that the things you think to sell on Creative Market do well on Etsy also. And you can set the licensing easier, like more personalized to your things on Etsy than you can on Creative Market.
Yeah. So Sharon comes in with a question. Got recently laid off. She goes, EPA surprise. So I'm spending lots of time doing my own projects for diversified / passive income. When should I start selling? Should I get everything together first? What do you think?
Start selling
if you
now.
have something, yeah, do it.
It's like end of
I
answer.
have to take my own medicine.
All right, what do you think, Kat?
If you have a file, like an asset, so I made a font and I put it up on Creative Market and Etsy, and I don't sell it for much, but I sell it, I get it out there, and I'm always like, man, that wasn't too hard. I should do it again. But I put that one thing up, and I have made lots of vectors and clip art and things, and that's what the class that it's part of the assignment for the class that I want to do, and so that's the thing I'm going to do. I'm going to start putting up like clip art sets, and just got to like really figure out the licensing and detach myself from that whole like I don't want to sell the art that I want to be licensed for kind of stuff, you know, where I hope that's where I struggle sometimes too. It's like, do I sell the stuff that I want people to pay me for, like big time, or do I
mean, you could do both.
You know, have a different style there.
I mean, the good
but
news,
if you have something.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is you could always just make more stuff, right? So like, even if, you know, the stuff does well that you sell, clients are going to see it and want you to do it again for them. And it's not like your hand gets chopped off after you sell a bunch of assets. You can still draw things, right? So I think that's kind of like a weird fear. But yeah, I just say do it all. Do wherever the money takes you, and don't just make sure you don't waste your time on things that don't make money. That's the biggest thing.
Just if you have files that are good quality that you'd be happy to receive, just put it up there.
Totally. And be your own customer. Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
Yeah.
What about you, Sam? Do you have more information?
Yeah, I mean, she should start selling now. Like, I feel like when you start saying like, oh, like, should I wait till everything's together? I feel like nothing's ever going to be completely together. You kind of just have to go for it. You know, you have to take that leap of faith, or, you know, because you never know like what's going to happen. So,
yeah. I always think people, when they want to sell a product or a digital product on Creative Market, they think they need to have like 5 or 10 things in the shop for some reason. No. All you got to do, like, especially like speak for a Creative Market, because I've taken a ton of passive income classes from Dustin on that topic. But so they say, just get your page together, get that banner image going, start following people, start buying assets, do your own beta test with similar things that are out there, be a part of the community. That's key, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're selling. And then just release one product. And the second you start working on it, whether it's a rough sketch or it's just, hey, this is my to-do list, make font set, that's when you should be telling people that you're making it. And take a picture. Be like, hey, fucking Twitter, I wrote this on my to-do list today. I'm going to fucking do it. And just keep every little step that you make when you're making those preview images, when you're testing out the font. I'm just using a font as an example. Or whatever that asset is. Keep talking about it, and always have that CTA, that call to action. Hey, don't forget to follow me on Creative Market, so that way you get first dibs when this product goes live. And you could always do things where it's like, okay, well, the first product I make is going to go on the free page to help me get more of a community, or I'm going to do a discount for the first 2 days that the, you know, asset is live. There are other things you can do in terms of, actually like promoting your own work. But I think it's just about getting it done and talking about it as much as possible while you're making it, and especially after, right? Because you want people to be able to buy it when it's actually available, and just keep refining that model and do whatever makes more sense. Okay, Fueled by Letters. What's up, girl? You're still in the process of trying to get some work together to sell on Etsy. It's what I planned on doing. I was doing some digital goodies. That's what's up. That's what you got to be doing. Sharon, whose passive income class did you take? Dustin Lee from Retro Supply Co. I took his online course, and I took his live workshop over at Creative South last year. It was pretty sweet. Because Creative Market is curated, any tips on the best way to get accepted or an invite? Creative Market is really easy to get on.
Like, you just ask.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're not picky. It's not like a dribble situation where you're like, you need that invite in order to be a part of that platform. It's just like, hey, I want to make a shop. Cool.
Yeah. And the great thing is every week they have free goods, and eventually it's going to be the one that you want to do. And then you can see what those files are like that they choose to give out free to their wide audience.
Yeah.
So you can do that research for free.
Yeah. And just, I think the key to making products is always try to make products for someone that you think knows nothing about how to use that asset, what to use that asset for. Just treat like these are the examples, like treat people like they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. So that's why you'll see people, like, even if it's just a font, most people know how to install a font on their computer. Make a video. This is how you open the font. This is how you use the font. This is how you use all the extensions of the font. Here are 20 examples on how you can use the font. And then, you know, some people will even go above and beyond and like outreach to that community that we're talking about. Hey, I'm going to give you a free file, even if they're not even that popular. Test it out, talk about it on social media, and I can even give you a referral link and they can get a commission for that sale. So there's like so many puzzle pieces you could start to put together, especially for a creative market. And again, all it takes is your time and no upfront costs, which is really fucking great because I like to keep my money. It's my baby. Yeah. I don't want other people to have my baby. It's my baby.
Yeah, I do think the commissions, I'm trying to think who's cheaper, selling through Creative Market or Etsy.
In terms of like what they take home from it?
Yeah. Yeah, for the cuts on things.
I feel like Etsy takes a bigger cut just because I've heard such bad things about Etsy, but that's just my guessing, I guess. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look because, I mean, I don't sell it for very much, so I make pennies. But I almost was going to say the opposite. But it's just, I wouldn't let any of that stuff or like thinking that you have to do all this extra marketing just to get it out there. Those are the things that sometimes I get bogged down with, like, oh, I've got to make this video, how to use it, or I've got to do all those things. And all those things are awesome and should get done, but it shouldn't stop you from posting it. I posted my one my one little font that's of my own handwriting. And I did do like extra kerning and extra letter sets in it. And I made 3 images and I just got it up there.
Yeah. It's all about that like ship early, edit often mentality. Like get it up there. Yeah. If you notice sales aren't as good as you want to, then maybe go ahead and take the time. Like, okay, maybe people don't understand how to use it, or maybe I didn't show enough examples, or maybe I needed to make this a part of a bigger bundle or something like that. That's always something to consider. All right, Doris, you checked Creative Market today. They do ask you to apply, and I've heard lots of people get refused, so I'm a little anxious. What? Huh. See, when I made a store, I was part of that live workshop, so they just immediately approved everyone who went to that workshop. So, and I know that Creative Market, I don't know if it's the same woman who still runs it. They're doing a lot more like educational workshops for Creative Market. So maybe be on the lookout for one of those because they're very quick to be like, yep, we just want to make money off your money. And also it doesn't hurt to like connect with someone and do a little light stalking. Being like, hey, I just submitted an application. Maybe you could look at it, or if I'm missing anything, let me know. Right?
Yeah, and I would like, I can't imagine they wouldn't tell you why or something when you filled out the application. I think I had to like share a website or share a blog or like, oh, I do this stuff on Spoonflower too, and I'm thinking about doing XYZ. Like, I just apply. Just do it.
Yeah. And also, like, just because you can't sell your work on Creative Market still doesn't mean you can't take advantage of selling digital products, right? Like, if you have Squarespace, to be able to sell a digital product on Squarespace is incredibly easy. It's the exact, like, hey, what kind of product do you want to sell? Digital. What are the images of the product? Bloop, 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 bloop. Upload. What's the description of the product? Bloop, bloop, bloop. And then you're done. And then there's your first digital product. And I guarantee you, I know it sounds stupid, but it's just like, no, it's, you know. And then maybe once you start putting those things on your own platform, and then when you submit your application for Creative Market, maybe they're more likely to choose you because like, oh, she's already doing it and she's going to do it on my platform. Okay, cool. I like money. I don't know. Yeah. Have you guys talked about Cotton Bureau yet? It's good, really good for exposure, especially if you're designed for a cause. Have you ever
I've done Cotton Bureau.
Oh, you have? Mm-hmm. What was your shirt?
I've made a couple shirts on Cotton Bureau. One, they're sports related. I'm into sports. Woo! And there's not many girls like sports. I love sports.
Just every ad, just like, woo! Like, I'm a ghost. Boo, I like sports.
I like using my hands.
It was cute. I loved it.
But, so I'm a huge baseball fan. So I did a shirt for my favorite baseball team. And then it was it's a very graphic design kind of centric shirt. And I realized I could apply it to all the sports in my local hometown, DC. And so so I did like a football shirt and a baseball shirt, and actually helped my boyfriend do a shirt that represented his college as well, that was football oriented. And they definitely curate. Like you have to send them a design and they have to like it for it to go up. And then once you're up and you actually do well on Cotton Bureau, you have to sorry if I'm just cut me off if I'm talking too much. You have to sell you have to sell 12. You have to sell 12 for it to print. Then you have to sell 25 for you to get paid. And then every 25 increment above that, you get an extra like $5 a shirt. So like I sold 75 shirts when my most successful design got chosen, and I made like $500 or so.
Yeah. What? That's awesome.
That's pretty good for not spending any money to get those shirts printed.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's awesome.
And they give you like a coupon to like get your own shirt if you want, or they give out coupon codes to your friends to drum up business, but you have to do the marketing yourself. You have to promote it on all your social channels. They're not going to necessarily put it on their homepage and things like that. But they're all super nice there. They're going to answer the emails, and the shirt quality is really great. And they do this really nice printing technique where it's still like screen printed, but it's a special technique, so it's very soft, and it's not like plastisol ink.
Is it water-based?
It's really nice. I'm not positive if it's water-based, but they do a really nice job. And they have like Next Level, I think is what they use now, which is similar to American Apparel. So it's a very nice soft t-shirt.
Nice.
Yeah. But you do have to be accepted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've reached out a few times, but I never really did it.
Oh.
Yeah, I did.
That means you're in. You should go.
Yeah. I'm just like, man, I don't want to, I don't know. I just like, for me, I feel like I'm just like so over a lot of third-party platforms, and it's just like, if I'm going to sell a t-shirt, I'm at the point where like I can afford to just get them printed myself and ship them out myself and make all the money. But yeah, I don't know. If my popularity like shoots down or I get really poor, maybe I'll try some of those other things. Was
it recently?
Say again?
Was it recently? Like really recently, like last month? Or
maybe.
March?
I think they reach out like
once
every few months.
They did a big women's push.
Oh,
and they had all these women artists.
Everyone is posting about it.
They had all these women artists and like all their kind of women-centric and women empowerment shirts back up. And they had like a bunch of like great illustrators and letterers, and they're like Jessica Hish and Martha Rich and stuff. And so it was cool. Like that was like 50 shirts or something.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if that's why they were like,
yeah. Maybe they just didn't. Yeah, I really want to make this piece that says "Lose your balls and grow some tits." I think that would be really funny. Shirt. Lose your balls and grow some. It's from a fucking song. And I just like grow some tits. And also, like, me and my friend keep talking about the word pussy a lot lately. Sorry, anyone, if you're offended by fucking cursing. Too bad. So it's really funny because like you're like, oh, you're being such a pussy. It's like, no, pussies are actually much stronger than balls. So if anything, you should be like, God, you're being such a scrotum right now. Right? So it's like, why does growing some balls mean that you're like all of a sudden have all this courage? If anything, men protect their balls because they're so fucking sensitive. Pussies can take a harder beating than a scrotum every time. So I feel like we should just stop saying that word in the way it's being used, unless you're talking about a literal pussy.
Just share this on Facebook with my family.
Please do. Please. I'm just, it's legit though, right? Like, what the fuck?
Makes sense. Makes sense.
It's science.
It is science.
Needs to be on a shirt.
Like, drop some balls and grow some tits. I love it. Yeah, I was thinking that too, Daniela, that maybe the creative market was thinking about their reach, but I feel like that would be really crummy. Like a creative market was like, oh, you only have like 240 followers on Instagram? You're funny. Come back when you have at least 10K. Like, hopefully they're not assholes, because followers do not dictate talent in any way, shape, or form. I see people just take pictures of Cheetos every day and have like 500,000 fucking followers, so just saying. Hopefully they're not doing that, because that would make me very, 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 very sad and sick inside, and I don't like it. Okay, so Sam, I really want you to make another t-shirt. When are you making a t-shirt? I want t-shirts in my life from you, and because your art is so cute.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, but I know I need to do this.
I just gonna keep like talking to you like every few weeks, just so that way you do all this shit.
You need to. I've actually been like really like stoked about it because I'm doing some t-shirt designs at work. So I've just like been like the t-shirt design mindset is like here right now. So I definitely need to make it happen. Yeah. I'll do it, okay, Tina?
Okay, you're gonna do it. I'm just gonna like get your phone number somehow and just fucking just blow you up all day. Just say, did you make the shirt yet?
Yeah, I definitely will do the shirt.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like gotten to this point where I'm like really overthinking my schedule. I'm really trying to get client work and all that stuff just completely out of my head and just really going for my own products. Not only for letter shop, but for Women of Illustration. And I have an idea. You tell me if you guys tell me right now, everyone, if this is a good idea or not. I think it's a good one. Okay, so I think every single illustrator should have a course, but creating a course is very daunting. People don't know how to build a course, and that's why they end up using platforms like Skillshare and all these other things. But I was thinking, what if, like, I don't know, like every quarter or every month, or depending on how much time I have, I don't know, I partnered with a different artist to release a course. So that way I would help them figure out the outline, the content. We could teach it together, or they could just teach it on their own, because I think that would be a great digital product to be able to promote too. And then they could use the course anywhere else they wanted. If they wanted it on their own platform, or if they wanted to give it to another platform that's okay with them, it being on our platform or something. Do you think that would be a really good digital product for Women of Illustration?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that would be really rad. I feel like especially if you're like focusing on like one artist and their skill set, like people are gonna want to like watch certain people for certain reasons instead of like going through like Skillshare where it's like a very like broad topic and you're kind of just like watching someone like go through like a whole course like in their own style, and it's not necessarily like the style you even are looking for or like relate to. So I feel like having very specific videos, it would be like an awesome product. Like I would watch those.
Yeah, and I want to do something that's like short, maybe something that's like nothing longer than 3 hours of a course, and it's really specific. It like, oh, how to draw a character like so and so, or how to get how to add extra decorations and accents to your lettering like so and so. Because I feel like no one's really making those kinds of courses. And let's all face it, every single person on Skillshare, you go enroll, and then you never fucking watch that class. You know it's you. You don't fucking watch it, and you skim through it, and you're just like, oh, that was nice. Like, I didn't really watch that at all.
I do.
I am guilty of it.
I do at least 50%.
I mean, that's better than what I do. So.
Well, sometimes because the teachers get paid by how many minutes you actually physically watch the videos.
Oh,
so when you skim and stuff, you're actually like kind of raping them a little bit when you do that. So I've done it a few times where I'll like hit play and leave the room. Just so that way they can get like a couple extra minutes. Just because Skillshare changed their
what
model.
If you watch it at 1.5 speed or double speed? Does that affect them?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
That is what I do.
You watch it at double speed, so now they only get half the profits.
It's like long. I'm like, I gotta get through this.
Know. Oh man. Oh, you love my.
But Gina, you should almost do I think you should do a course about making courses, or like how to do the content, or you could like even just start off with like how to make your videos better. Because I feel like you are so great at giving feedback and honest feedback, which is like so much more valuable than, oh, I love it, it's great. Honest feedback, critiquing. And I think that if someone, because like I've got the bones and I just need that like those other little kicks in the pants to like get it out the door, to know how to make it 20% better. And
totally.
I think
that
you're awesome at that.
Thanks. You're so fucking nice. Yeah, so my plan is I want to release my own course that's kind of in the middle of like an official crazy big course in between what I just talked about, releasing quarterly. I'm already putting it in the works. How to reach your first 10,000 followers on Instagram course, which I think will be really cool. And I actually reached out to some people on Instagram to try to get some feedback because, you know, obviously, like, I don't want to be teaching a class that just changed their algorithm, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of give me some inside tips on what they are going to be releasing in the next few months, so that way my shit is relevant. So that'll be cool. Yeah.
Did they respond?
They responded pretty quickly, like within an hour. I was just like, thank you. See, all you gotta do is fucking ask people, man.
That's so awesome.
And I did it in a really shitty way. Like, I went on LinkedIn and they didn't give away email, so I just put like jennifer.h@instagram.com and it totally worked. And that's not the actual email. Do not use that email. But I'm just saying, like, that kind of example, and I did that like 20 times. I was like, oh, okay, cool, I got someone. Thanks. Well, actually, I think that's a great idea. Blah, blah, blah. Here's a downloadable PDF for what we're releasing. And I'm like, thank you? Like, why don't you guys just have this on the blog somewhere? Seriously.
Yeah.
Danielle, I would like a course about making courses. Yes. I think the next 4 courses are the Instagram one, how to build a client attracting website, specifically using Squarespace. And then once I have 2 more courses under my belt, then I'll teach a course on how to make courses. Because I like, now that I'm doing it on my own platform and it's not Creative Live doing all the hair and makeup and effects and lighting, I want to be able to figure out how to do it my damn self.
Yeah. That's rad.
If you could teach a class, Sam, on anything, what would that class be? Come on.
Oh my gosh, probably to draw one of my characters, honestly, because I feel like I've just like grown myself, like drawing them. I feel like I have a lot to teach, even though it's like very specific to like my style. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of people can like benefit from just like how I start those drawings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that'd be rad. Or maybe even using like Posca markers, because I've been really into using those. So I feel like that's a very specific class that like not a lot of people are like teaching or like talking about. So I think that'd be kind of cool. You know, right?
What are they?
I know. I actually was looking. There's this one girl. I posted about her on Women of Illustration Instagram. I don't remember off the top of my head, but she is nuts. So she'll use Posca markers, and she does it shape by shape. So there's no fucking rough draft. There's no sketch. God. Nothing. So it's almost like those people who use the lasso tool to make shapes in Photoshop, and that's how they illustrate. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? Like, what? And she just like draws the little outline of her characters and then puts the layers of the different colors, and it ends up being such a cool aesthetic. And I haven't seen any courses on how to use Posca markers in that way. I've seen one for lettering, but it was really low quality, so I won't mention it. And I was just like, everyone's using Posca. Why is no one taking advantage of this? So I know there's a few people that are listening, like, maybe I could do a course on Posca markers.
It's mine. Just kidding.
Dude, I feel like 50 people could make a course on Posca markers, and there would still be enough people to buy listen to all of those courses.
Oh my gosh, there's always so many of the same kind of course on Skillshare. So
yeah. I was actually like doing a lot of research on Skillshare, especially for social media, and I ran into 2 issues. Anyone who did an artist-specific course for Instagram, it was really bad, and they didn't actually have that many followers, so I was like confused on why they were teaching the course. Or it was a generalized small business marketing course that is 3 years old. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like, oh, hey, so Instagram is thinking about releasing this crazy thing called stories. I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, yeah, just take your video down. Like, this is bad. So just because someone's done a course on something that you want to make doesn't mean that they aren't, you know what I mean? Like, you still can't do it and take your own spin on it. Because especially if it's around technology, it gets outdated. Or, you know, take advantage of those trends that happening. Like when drop caps were all the rage like 5 years ago, people finally thought, oh, what if I made a course teaching you how to make a drop cap? You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like you can make a course on pretty much anything. Mm-hmm. Right? So
yeah, and having different teachers in the same space, you know, someone's going to like you more over someone else, or you're going to have a different take and explain it better for them to get it. And it's always valuable to have more teachers in the same space.
Cool. Oh, okay. Thank you for digging that idea, because that's something I've just been like kind of like shoveling in the back of my head out of all the shit that's going on in this fucking cranium. But yeah, I think that's because I was trying to think like, what's a good product that I can make from an illustration that I don't have to ship to people? Because it's like, I wouldn't be able to afford to just buy out usage rights from artists in order to get, you know, approval to use their artwork and then spend the money to make the products, especially things like enamel pins that you have to go to China for in order to get made, which makes me mad that there's no fucking manufacturers in the United States.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's super frustrating. So, yeah, so I think that might be a good option. Yay, I'm excited. I want to do a course with every one of the guests, if they'll let me.
That's so rad.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes. Let's do it. I'm excited. Let's do that. Someone wrote, where is it? Yeah, Dennis. Hey, what's up, Dennis Cortez? Sam's coin character is my fave. Just do, like, cute little characters. Or, like, I can imagine, like, Irene doing, like, a course on how to make, like, an animated GIF in Photoshop. And then our next guest, which is Angie Polly, I could see her doing something on, like, how she makes one of her, like, sculptures. Or she has a very specific style on how she digitally paints, because she doesn't actually put lines, like ink lines in her work. It's all very soft, which is a really cool aesthetic. That's awesome. I think almost every single person that draws something could teach you how to draw a certain kind of style. You're like, hey, I'm doing with lettering adventures. You can do it with whatever the fuck you can think of, too.
Yeah, exactly. Or just, like, take their own twist on it. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And especially for people who are, like, nervous about jumping out of the freelance day job kind of realm of making money. Digital products, I think, are the first step that you should be taking way before designing t-shirts, way before any of that other stuff, because it doesn't cost any money. And it just gives you room to fuck up without it robbing all the money that you have in your account. Don't be me. I started a t-shirt business. I spent like thousands of dollars on a thing that just didn't work because I had no idea what I was doing. And it had a really dumb name. It was called Hipster Ketchup.
Oh my gosh. What?
Don't ask questions. It was like that time where, like, you know, like the glasses with like the mustache t-shirts were like really popular. So
I remember.
So I was like, if I just put thick rimmed glasses and mustaches on popular characters, what could go wrong? Everyone will love that. No one loved it. It was not a good idea, and I spent way too much money before I proved the method behind the madness, and that's the key. Whatever beta test research you can do it. Yeah, so Fueled by Letters. Yeah, if you just Google Fueled by Letters, you'll find her. She just made a new website, Jennifer. So guys, check out her new website. Okay, so before we totally peace out, because we only have 10 minutes left in this very cool live stream, and there's 21 people watching now. That's what's up! If we have any final questions about making money, finding a community, getting out of your shell, illustration, whatever the fuck you need help with, we have mouths, and we can talk with them, and then we can answer your questions. It'll be really cool. It's like, please ask us questions so we're not sitting here awkwardly. It'd be so nice of you to do that. This whole Women of Illustration thing has just been such a crazy road. I'm so excited to see how we can grow and make courses and products, and I'm still like pretty gun-ho. Like 2018 is the year of Women of Illustration, and I'm not going to do any.
It's like, how much is?
When are you going to post the 10K thing? Oh, sorry, Sam.
Yeah, I haven't worked on it. I'm probably going to work on it. What is today? Thursday. Today feels like a Friday to me. It's very misleading. Probably this weekend. And I have it, for those of you who missed the 10K drink and draw, we made this guy.
Let's see.
Yeah, I can't show you guys. I can only show the stream. So if you look at the YouTube stream in a couple seconds, you'll see it. So we did all these characters, like someone did like a llama ballerina, or a party ghost, or a piece of popcorn eating his family, an alien taking a selfie, a magician, dog. We got two different kinds of lipsticks, tube or non-tube, who will win, and then like coffee, surf, skateboarding, like all these weird combinations that we did, and I'll probably finish this eventually. One of these days.
Someday.
I've actually been focusing a lot on like my health and fitness lately, which is, you know, someone who's overweight, it takes a lot of energy out, so I haven't had quite as much time and energy for work. But I'm happy to say I'm on day 13 of doing kickboxing every single day.
Oh, girl.
Nice.
Fuck yes. My face is starting to thin out. It's very exciting. It's like, oh, it's going away. Oh, yes. So yeah, I definitely will be able to be posting more often very soon. All right, Carissa's like, I'll help you guys out. What are 3 new things you have learned from Women of Illustration guests you have spoken with so far? Ooh. Well, I can share what I've learned since I've obviously been a part of every interview. I think the biggest takeaway is everyone struggles with the exact same things that I'm struggling with every single fucking time. Everyone feels awkward talking about themselves. Everyone feels like they're not doing good enough Everyone has imposter syndrome. We all kind of struggle with confidence. We never think our ideas are good enough. We always have too many ideas and have shiny object syndrome. We never know what idea to move forward with. And it's like these problems aren't just our problems. They're just the problems of the industry. And I think when we start to talk more about these things, especially all as women and a couple dudes who support women that are in the chat, I can't forget about the guys and, you know, the balls and the breasts. It's just like kind of like a relief to be able to have a community that thinks like you and most importantly understands the words that are coming out of my mouth so that way they can complain with me. Right? Because I feel like just being heard is just such an important part of it. But as far as other things than that, I think I'm just most interested in people's like failures and struggles and like all the mistakes they've made so I can learn from them and not make those exact same mistakes. Like especially learning from people who do things like completely different from me, like Tatiana Gill, who's a comic book artist, and she just talks about like political things, body dysmorphia, that kind of thing. And I find that very fascinating because I've up until this point haven't felt brave enough to talk about bigger topics besides like, I'm just so lazy. And like, here's some poop jokes and, you know, all that stuff. So that's, you know, I think there's something to learn from every person you talk to, especially in such a public way. Mm-hmm. Asha what? I have a dumb question. How do you choose the paper you put your prints on and how do you get them made? Has anyone here ever made prints? You've made a print, haven't you, Sam?
Yeah, I just went to Office Max and printed it on whatever cheap paper they had.
Nice.
That's how I mean, you literally have to start somewhere because I feel like that was a big barrier for me when I first was deciding like, oh, maybe I should do prints. And you're just like, how do you even do prints? What does that even mean? So I literally just went to like Office Max and was like, oh, can I just like print some of my artwork like on whatever paper? I really don't care because you have to start somewhere for sure. Like you could do screen printing, you could do all the fancy stuff, but I feel like you gotta, if you want to do prints, you should just do it whatever way you know best, you know?
Yeah.
And just do there.
For sure. What about you, Kai? Have you ever done prints before?
I haven't done prints. I've tried to do like digital downloads so that people could print them themselves or, you know, go to a printer. But I was looking into Printful because someone reached out and mentioned that in the comments, and they do drop shipping for prints. And it looks like they do pretty good quality. You could probably, you know, search on YouTube for like Printful reviews. That's what I did this last week. And it looks like those, because it is like a digital print, but because it is a print, it ships faster than their other products.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so you don't have to keep the stuff. They'll ship it. You can even like customize the label so it has your logo and stuff on it. And then I know some other people that have a printer, like a nice Epson or Canon or something like that, or I'm probably getting the names wrong, that they do it from home. And you do Redbubble, right, Dina?
Mm-hmm. All about the Redbubble. Totally. I think if you're printing it on your, I think falling into the like, well, everyone else on Instagram is getting screen printed posters, so if I just do a DOP, no one's gonna like it and it's gonna look shitty. It's like, no, it's fine. It's not gonna have that texture. It's not gonna be super expensive. But again, you want to start the cheapest way fucking possible. The artwork isn't gonna suffer depending on what kind of paper or printing method. I mean, no, it's not gonna like, oh, half of it's missing, or I forgot the purple cartridge in my ink and now it is a weird color. Like that kind of stuff isn't gonna happen. So you're probably fine. Start cheap, and then once you've, again, proved the method behind the madness, and you have a customer base and people like your designs, then you can start to invest a little bit more in the quality. But I think, again, the trick with products is make one product, sell the product out, use the money from the product, the profits, to put into another product, and then that way you never have to dip back into your own personal account.
Exactly.
And that's how you grow, and that's the way to do it. Aw, Ash, she's like, your skin is glowing. It probably is my lighting. I'm not really wearing any makeup, which is very impressive, but thank you very much. I appreciate you. Getting beat up at the kick, like I've literally, like, my knuckles are bruised. I have like cuts everywhere. I'm really sore in like really specific weird areas that it makes it awkward to move around, especially when I'm like feeling all confident, like walking downtown Portland, and I'm like kind of have like a hobble now because only the right bottom left part of my arch and my foot is sore, but the left foot's fine. It's very confusing. It's like walking with one heel. It's not fun.
Oh my gosh.
All right, well, we're almost at a wrap. Guys, feel free, even after this live stream, especially if you're watching this from the future, if there's any comments, questions, anything, go ahead, put them in the comments below. I read every single comment on YouTube, and I will reply. Very few people ask questions, and I'm always here as a free resource to help you guys grow, so that way we all can be heard, make art, and get paid. That's what's up. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to follow these two lovely ladies, Kat Hubbs and Samantha Lopez, on the Instagrams and the Twitters. Sam is Sam X Lopez on everything, and Kat is Kat Hubbs on everything. Kind of funny how that works. It's our names. It's easy to Google. We like it. All right, ladies. Now, just because your time to shine at Women of Illustration is over, it doesn't mean this relationship has to end. I will see Kat at our weekly mastermind group. But hey, Sam, don't you be a fucking stranger.
Always on the internet.
All right, always on the internet. Fucking send me funny things on Instagram. We're gonna be friends. It's gonna happen. I've really enjoyed having you guys both on, and I'm just excited to see all the guests unfold as the weeks and months and years of Women of Illustration continue. All right, guys, we're all gonna wave awkwardly. Bye. It's like, thanks for being amazing. Goodbye.
Adios.